Hey, 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 everybody. What is going on? This is your stranger. Girl, I've been missing. How's everybody? Y'all see no eyelashes, no makeup? I miss y'all. Hey, 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 sisters. Y'all know what we gonna do. We gonna invite somebody. We gonna tag a friend. We gonna start a watch party, block party, all them good parties. So y'all do that for me while I tag some folk. I know what I'm finna do. Let me throw my disclaimer. I'm just one girl who's been through some things, who don't mind sharing. I believe that my struggle has educated me to be able to reach back and pick up my sisters. You feel me? And my experience has allowed me to just be able to be open and share and be candid where God has brought me from. Okay. So I miss y'all, girl. Where y'all been? How y'all been? Hey, Quanta Pool, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Y'all ladies, share this post. This is our Dear John. Tonight we're gonna read our letter. But first, let's just catch up. Let's just chit chat. Wait, I'm so excited. Hold on. Let me add some people. Y'all know what I'm gonna do. Hold on. So let's see. Get it on out the way. I pray everybody has been saved. Whether it's crazy, but I ain't complaining. Let's see. So how's it been popping? Pray everybody's been wonderful. I'm gonna we're gonna do our Dear John, we got a letter. I put on here, we got a letter, y'all. This thing is coming along. Tell the Lord thank you. Tell the Lord thank you. And before we get started, I just want you all, sisters, to keep our sisters Annie and Annalisa in prayer. They lost a sibling on last week, Friday. So I spent a little time with them on Thursday. So y'all that have lost a loved one, you all keep them covered in prayer. Those of you that know the word of prayer, say a prayer for them because they lost their sibling, okay? And there's nothing like losing a loved one. So hey, Kasapu, how are you? Thank you. Hey, Casa. Thank you for joining. So let me get out of here. Y'all, my grandbaby convinced me to put all this stuff up. Y'all know we should just keep it regular. Y'all know I'm regular people. Hold on. So listen, we got a letter. We got a letter. This letter is more of a, she titled it Confession. So it's really not it's a Dear John, but it was interesting because she titled it a confession. So let's see what she's confessing, okay? I'm excited. I appreciate her for sending it. So she trusts us, sisters, enough to be able to share her story and to be able to hope that someone will find themselves just to shed a little light on the situation. You understand? Because we're not alone. Everybody's going through some things, and the devil will have you to seem like you're the only one who's going through at the time you're going through. So, take me for instance, I've been MIA. Since I was jumped on last, and I had the asthma attack at work. I've been hard to bounce back. But nevertheless, I went to church on Sunday, and I had to leave prayer, and then my breath left me. I don't like to be like that in the public. So one of the sisters followed me outside and she prayed with me. And of course I feel better, but don't keep me in prayer, okay? I'm still victorious. I'm victorious. Victorious, I said. But nevertheless, we're on here tonight to read this letter. So y'all share this, please. Somebody start a watch party because this letter is her confession, and her confession, we find ourselves being there with um, when we are in certain situations. Let's turn the music down. Y'all know I don't own the rights to any music that's playing in my background. I don't own it. Don't belong to me. I haven't written any music yet, so it's not Renee's. So let's just go and jump right in because I plan not to be on long. But I know I say that all the time, but I mean it tonight. So let's go to the letter. And again, she titled it Confession. She titled it Confession. It says, Confession. I had to tell my husband of 6 years that I apologize if I ever made him feel less of a man. I have, if I ever bullied him into doing what I wanted to do. I was listening to Ricky Smiley's show. He was, no, how was a woman needed? Girl, wait, let me get my tongue together. Let's start over. It says confession. I had to tell my husband of 6 years that I apologize If I ever made him feel less of a man, if I bullied him into doing what I wanted to do, I was listening to Ricky Smiley show. How was a woman I need to as a woman I needed to realize that if you have a man in your life that stepped up as a father in your children or child's life, it's no it's no side way of raising them. In other words, they can be daddy or spend money on them, but they can't be daddy when it comes to discipline. Y'all know how we is about them babies, guys. You can do all you want to do, but don't be putting your head on a baby now. Hold on. This was the goal. So she put in parentheses, discipline does not always mean physical abuse, but as well as verbal. So she said, the real question is deep inside, if you can't trust him, why are you with someone who you don't trust with your kids? Well, so her confession was that she had to tell her husband, who was evidently not the children's father, but he stepped into their life and became a household, a blended household, should I say. They became a blended household. She didn't specify if he had kids, but she had children, and he stepped in and become the father figure in their lives. But on every level, with the exception of being the disciplinarian. And again, sometimes we as moms, we want that, but when it comes to the discipline of the children, then we feel some type of way. We get a little funky. Can I say that? Can I say we get a little funky? We get a little funky when it comes to discipline our children. So, Tamisha, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Hold on. It's not going to be disturbed. So, we get a little funky when it comes to. So when we do that, that could bring in some little riff. So Tamisha, you said, wow. Hey, Deacon Josh. Hey, Miss Janice is on here. Hey, Miss Janice. La Casa is here. Thank you, Casa. Annie is here. Hey, my love. So listen, y'all have these blended families. How do you let your partner do you let your husband or boyfriend discipline your children? She said she had to Miss Jenny said, yes, we do. Tell the truth. We do. We have a tendency to want the man in our lives on every level, with the exception of being the disciplined person. Like you can't whoop my baby. I'm like, we gonna fight. Even I'm gonna go as far as to say, even if me and you had it together and we're not together, and then we're dysfunctionally co-parenting, you can't whoop my baby either. Cause you ain't even doing your part. So you can't whoop my baby. I don't care if you help me create the baby. You can't do that. That's how we feel, right? Am I the only one? Y'all ain't gonna make me seem like I'm the only one who's doing that. That what I used to do. My babies are grown and going on about their business. So y'all are feeling her confession. Do anybody feel themselves in that confession? Tamisha says, yes, I let my husband discipline my kids because I know that it is out of love and not out of hate. Oh wait, that's what she meant. And he only wants what's best for them. Well, I applaud you because sometimes we as women we don't hardly do that. But I can say when my kids were little, um, the guy I had in my life, he could discipline my children, but he wouldn't discipline them to the point of being physical or being verbal, but he would tell them what to do. You know what I mean? My ex-husband, he would discipline them like sternly. He would discipline them, but again, I don't whip my children. I wasn't whipping my children as much. He will save them from me smashing their head in. He would save me. He would save them, but he wouldn't. He would tell them what to do, and then if it got to a point where they were not listening or they were not being obedient, I believe because he did not want to whip them, based probably on how he knew who he knew me to be or whatever the case. I don't know. Maybe because he was in a place where he was in a household with someone who was not his dad. So he had that mindset of how it is to be a stepchild. We've had that conversation before, like how he felt being in a household with a guy who was not his dad, but he did everything as a dad and didn't make him feel like he was a stepchild. So in my case, my ex, he knew how to discipline with that mindset. You know what I mean? He didn't want to cause any tension, but he was going to be that role in their life. So he needed to have his own relationship. And I allowed him to have his own relationship. Like, he disciplined him. I didn't step in and like, what's going on? No, I didn't do all of that in front of them. But yes, on the back, behind the closed door, yeah, I want to know, like, what happened? Like, what happened? What did she do? And sometimes I didn't have to ask him. He would automatically be like, well, Janae did X, Y, and Z, or Kyla did da 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 da. Sometimes I didn't have to ask him what happened. It was an automatic for him. So my question is, how far do you let it go? Annie say, I'm not the only one. I didn't even let the daddy whoop them. Why not, Annie? Why you didn't let the daddy whoop them? I believe I know the answer, but I need you to share with the sisters so they would know. Why you didn't let the dad whoop your child? Because sometimes we as women, that nurturing, but if we don't have a man in the house, there's a certain I don't know what to label it as, but there's a certain things that a man is supposed to provide for the child. There's a place in the child for the mother to do the nurturing. There is a place, that's a special love and a special discipline that is designed, I believe. Again, y'all know I just give you what I got. I don't got, I ain't got all the answers, but I can tell you that I believe there's something that a man has that children needs to help mold and shape them into productive and to help them be whole as children. Now, I believe that without my heart. Hey, Marvin, thank you for joining the Sisters on Deck. We're reading our letter. For those of you who just jumped on, let me reread the letter. Because we got a couple of men on here. If you're in a relationship with a woman who has children previously, how do you discipline those children? How do you discipline them? Is giving them discipline frowned upon from the woman, or do y'all have a compromise, or do you have some type of I don't know, almost an agreement? Because I don't know how to label it, but how y'all discipline them kids? Y'all know what? I just met this drummer, and he is on this page. I didn't label this man as my drummer. Thank you for joining us on deck, Mr. Danny. I appreciate you. So if you're in a household and you're dating, and it takes a lot to apologize. When you can apologize to someone, that shows growth, that shows maturity. Not saying sometimes it's because you're wrong, but sometimes it's because of it could be a whole plethora of reasons. But to be able to apologize, especially a man needs to hear affirmation. A man needs to hear affirmation. Sometimes he need to be affirmed, not all the time pulling down. So Annie said, I asked Annie, why don't she let the dad discipline her child? Okay, so she says she doesn't do it because it takes her back to being abused by her stepdad. So again, a lot of this plays a part in it. But the sister when I read her letter, she said this is her husband of 6 years, and she had to go back and apologize because she didn't. She wanted him to be the father figure in every area of the child's life, with the exception of discipline. So she had to apologize to him because she thought maybe she made him feel less than a man, and she was bullying him into doing things that she would want him to do. Now, I got some things to say on that bullying part. But again, we only get the cliff notes of these letters. And I appreciate you writing this letter to us. We're just getting the cliff notes of these letters. So if you have, like, see, look at Annie. Annie said she didn't let her kid be disciplined by the dad because it brought back memories of her being abused as a kid from her dad. Now you have to be careful with that, Annie, um, because again, I believe a man has something that these kids need, and if it's not provided to them at a young age, then they're missing a piece of them. Something vital to them being able to grow up and to be whole little babies. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, but some of y'all on here know what I'm trying to say. So you have to be careful, and that's what. And I was praying on Sunday, and that's what I was doing. I was praying for the men because men are missing in their rightful places, head of the household, and we are being made. And when I say we, I'm talking about women. We do a lot. We wear a lot of hats. We do a lot of things. But there's one thing. I don't care how many missing dads or absent parents, deadbeat, whatever you want to label it. I don't care how many of those are missing. We could never do what a man do ever. Well, good. You got it, MV. You got it. There's some things that we as women, we just can't do. We try our best, but at the end of the day, there is something that a man needs to do for these children. And we can't, I don't care how much we, overcompensate, because we find ourselves overcompensating for the lack of the man being in the household. And that's not always a good thing too. But so I began to pray for the men on Sunday because we need them. I told you, men is phenomenal. We need men to be in their rightful place. So I just want to thank this sister for sending us her confession. So she didn't send us a Dear John per se. She sent us a confession, and I'm thinking this is a sign of a healthy relationship, or a sign of a working in progress to become healthier, if not already healthy. You understand? I'm not saying that it's broken, because again, we just get these letters, these are cliff notes. We don't have a full resume of what's going on. Okay, this is exactly what people want to share, to be able to enlighten us as a sisterhood, to be able to talk and discuss it. So I applaud her. I thank her for being able to step up. And you know what? I'm pretty sure her household is running a little bit smoother, because when you make a man feel good, when you make him feel like he is the king of the house, there's nothing this man won't do for you. That's just a little hint. There's nothing when you make him feel like he's worth something. When you things that we want as women, they want it too. They want to feel needed. They want to feel loved. They want to feel all of this stuff. Like texting in the middle of the day like you miss them and all this good stuff. The stuff that we want, y'all get that to y'all man. I'm just saying. Tamisha, I got an amen. Tamisha, amen that. So that's from a married woman. So I'm on the road, right, Tamisha? So I applaud the sister for sending us her Dear John letter. She titled it Confession. She was confessing that somewhere in her inner being, she felt like she had made her husband feel some type of way. But if she had not, she was just covering her bases, child. She just making sure that her household is going to run smooth. Let me apologize to this man and let him know that I appreciate him stepping up to be the father figure and the head of my household. So I applaud her. And then you know what? It takes a special kind of man to come in and raise somebody else's child. You understand? And do it right. I'm not saying just coming in and eating up on church snacks and telling people what to do, it raising all kind of hell, making the house dark. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about when a man comes in, she said, yes, man, you don't never want to make them feel less than a man. That is true. Because see, men go through depression different than we do. Men go through all of this stuff, but they have been stigmatized to be this strong vessel. They have been stigmatized to be Captain Saving. I can't say it because my baby beat me last time. So men have been made to put on a false sense of masculinity, if I could use that word. There's nothing wrong with a man being sensitive, vulnerable, showing emotion. That's okay. Not to do it to manipulate, but to do it because these are real emotions and these are real feelings. So it's not a good thing to make him feel less than. Your house will not run smooth. He gonna be gone all the time, and when he come in, he gonna go bathe and go to bed and complain about what you did. So if you want your house to run smooth, build your man up. And if you in a boyfriend girlfriend type situation, I don't want to speak on that because it was when I wasn't married, before I got married, there was just some things that I wasn't going to do in a girlfriend boyfriend relationship, period. I just refused because I'm not your wife. I'm your girlfriend, a booty call, whatever. But when I got married, there was some, he didn't want for anything. I made him comfortable. I made him feel good about going to work and come home. I just did that. They were taught to hide their emotions. Yes, they were, because you got to be strong. In our culture, and I can speak for my culture. In my culture, if a man cried, they were weak. And I beg to differ. And if a man cried, he's strong, in my point, in my opinion. But Tamisha say, oh, that's Miss Janice. Miss Janice said real men cry too. Yes, they do, Miss Janice. And they show and they are able to express. If you in your household and y'all come and y'all talking and y'all come in, if y'all be friends first, the communication is gonna come. You're gonna be able to talk and laugh and then open up dialogue and stuff unravels during those times. Y'all ain't talking about bills, y'all ain't talking about kids, y'all just talking about how your butt stick out like that, how his arms stick, stuff like that. That is what I'm talking about. That is how you keep your household together. How I can talk about this, because girl, I was married too. Why you ain't married now? Because he evidently didn't want to be married no more. I don't. But anyway, so listen, it is what it is. Y'all build your man up and watch how he make you feel like that queen. So I applaud this sister. She apologized and she made sure that she did not. If she did, she apologized. So I'm pretty sure that opened up a conversation right there, and it allowed them to grow more closer together. It allowed them to get an understanding. It allowed him to express some stuff. That's right, Miss Janet. It's love play. And then that way you're learning. Hey, Miss Sharon, thank you for joining the Sisters on Deck. So, it allowed you to learn um, in a nice environment. And then you will learn a little bit more about your spouse. So tonight we was just jumping on. I've been MIA, but I'll pop up now and here and there. But thank this sister. She sent her confession in. And y'all go ahead and if they're enough for you to bring your children around them, then you need to reevaluate. You need to check out and see, like Annie said, she did not let her dad, her kid's dad, do that because of what she had experienced. And sometimes we project that on our children. I wouldn't let my kids go stay the night at nobody. My mama wouldn't let me go stay the night at nobody's house. Why? Because she said just because their parents are okay, you don't know who their uncle is and you don't know what their cousin do. So that was a sense of protection. So I did the same thing. All the children could come to my house. All the kids can come to my house. We can have fun. Y'all can sleep over. But my kids was not going to nobody's house because I'm so protected. Because I was touched as a child. I was molested as a child. I was touched for a very long time. So I projected my fear. Ain't nobody gonna touch my kid because I'm going to jail. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So I projected that fear onto my children, and they didn't go out door. They didn't go to stay the night at nobody's house. You heard me? Because I just did not want them to experience what I had experienced, taking my innocence away. But who's to say that's going to happen? And then check this out. When I was dating, and then my husband came back, my ex-husband came around, I would always ask my children, how did he make you feel? Projecting my fear on them. You get how do you feel around him? He make you uncomfortable? I would ask my kids that all the time. And they would look at me like, lady, he all right? That's my oldest. She called me lady, but she wasn't calling me lady at that point. She looking at me like, I'm okay. No, he don't make me feel no type of way. And I'm saying I would ask them kids this all the time because I know the feeling of being molested. I know the mind battles that it brings and all this other extra stuff. And my babies ain't thinking about that. Say what? You need to listen. Yeah, you have to. But so I had to not project my fear on them though. you know. And then when I brought, if I am with them enough and I can bring them in my house, so at some point I have to let them do the full picture. If he can go to work, bring home the check, take care of the kids, and make sure the rent paid. We good. He already showing. I already think he's good enough to bring in the house around the children. So why not let him? And again, this is if your boyfriend and girlfriend, that's on you make your choice wisely. I'm talking about husband and wife households. So, but it's all good. So I thank her. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's a work in progress. Make your house healthy. So y'all don't project y'all fears on the babies. The man is necessary. I'm going to say a necessity. He really is. He's a necessity for the children. There's a missing part. And you go seeking for stuff when you're adult. And when the men when the boys don't have the men in their life, then they grow up and don't know how to navigate the world. They don't know how to treat the woman. They don't know how to treat themselves. Because that's important. Neither man or woman cannot treat someone else a certain type of way if they can't treat it to themselves first. So I'm a firm believer in that. So you can't love on me if you can't love on yourself. You don't know how to love. Don't never tell me I love you more than I love myself. Obviously, bro, because right away the way you rocking with yourself, it ain't too hard. And I will tell you. Okay, so Tamisha say, that happened to me as well. I was in an abusive relationship with my kid's father. So I was so overprotective when my husband came around because I thought that he will mistreat them like the father did. Exactly. And you kind of, let me ask you this then, Tamisha. Looking back on it, when he was attempting to make relationship with them in his own way, he was hovering like an eagle, like a mutt. Like if I'm got my eye on you, is that how you act at some point? If you can reflect in your mind, like at some point you were so overprotective because you don't never want your child to go through it, but you have to realize this man was enough for you to bring him around. And I ain't talking about just no one or two, you know what I mean? Yeah, see, she's saying yes, she was. She was that. She was hovering like an eagle, like if you do anything, you out of there. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you out. But see, you have to learn, like, just pause, pause, pause. And those of you who will go back and watch the replay, I pray that her letter will ignite something in you because for me, it allowed me to reflect on why I won't let him discipline my kids. You see what I'm saying? I barely got whoopings as a kid. I barely got whoopings as a kid. Okay. Oh, look at the monkey wrench. Listen to the monkey wrench. Tamisha said, but her son was also overprotective over her because of what he's seeing. That goes back to what I'm saying. The man role is so very important. I can pretty much say, and I don't know, Tamisha, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. When you're using an abusive relationship, the abuser was in a dysfunctional household. He had suffered some type of childhood trauma, and y'all know I'm big on that childhood trauma because some things happen to us in our childhood and in our adult life. It is causing us to be so dysfunctional because we have not dealt with it. One we think is regular and normal when it really is not. And in his adult life, it caused him to be abusive to Tamisha, to our sis right here, and he just never dealt with it. And now he don't know how to show love. He don't know how to. He don't know. He all got a full of bunch of stuff going on up in here. So we have to deal with this stuff because up here be so full. Ain't no more room. See, she said yes. He watched his dad beat his mom, so it's normal to him. That's some people just think that's regular because you grew up in that. And I ain't gonna say regular. You know it's wrong, but you think that's all that you have. That's why it's important to you have to want to do something different. You might not know how to do it, and God will show you. He will give you steps to take. Now, it's hard for a sinner man to hear the voice of the Lord if it's not a call to salvation. Sometimes God ministered to the sinner man, and he reached the heart, and you can hear people like it says your conscience, and I had a thought or something told me. That be the Holy Ghost ministering to you, saved or unsaved. And sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the time, you can't, unless you're in a real state where God is really trying to get your attention, you're not going to give him the reverence that is due, that's telling you to exit that situation. I was going to say something told me, or I had a feeling, or something came to my mind, because God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. Well, I dare not try to think that I know the way that God operates. So I know he ministered to me now that I'm saved. All those times that I heard, don't go over here, get up and leave, all this kind of stuff. He was saving my life way back then. When I'm in the trap and I'm leaving just in time, then I hear later on that night that trap got robbed, or trap had a shootout. You know what I mean? And I done got up because I think that it's just time for me to hit the strip and just walk. That's, you know what I mean? Find another place to chill. No, that was God telling me, girl, you better get up because I got a plan for you. Girl, you better get up because you got work to do for me later on down the road. Now, if you answer me, but you see what I'm saying? So if we are in dysfunction, we know we don't want to be there. We just don't know how to change it. We know we don't want to be there, but this is what we saw. So it's like to say my family lived in the hood, and I have a desire to own a home. But if my family is all I saw live in the hood, then I'm gonna think that's at some point this is what we got. But if I want something different, I don't care how much I see this is what we got. There's something gonna keep driving. Something gonna keep driving. And if you want to be able to do it, you can. God will show you how to achieve it. He'll put you in the right place around the right people. So the stigma on our Black men, men in general, that they have to be so super strong, has really crippled them. Has really not allowed them to fully tap into their potential. Because when God made men, He showed what I told y'all. Now, when He made woman, He showed it completely out. But He did a good thing too when He made the men, because the men is a beautiful thing. So I thank her, sis, for writing this letter. Tamisha, I thank you for joining us tonight on deck. I think it's your first time to join us on deck. And this was her confession. She confessed that she felt like a bully to her husband. She felt like she was making him feel less than a man. And she did not want to dare make him feel like that, because that's her king. That's right. Shift your mindset. When you can change your mind, you can change the situation. When you change your mind, you can change the way things are operating in your life. Because when you change your mind, you're gonna start talking different. Yeah. You start talking different, you'll see different stuff. But as long as your mindset is the same, you're gonna speak what you feel, you're gonna speak what you see, and it's gonna remain the same, because we're spirit beings, and what we say is life. We have life and death in the tongue. So I appreciate everybody. I just said that like 6 times. I know I'm from Cops. We do the benediction. We used to do the benediction 3 times, but we good now. God do what He do through there. But I thank y'all. I appreciate you all. I love you so much. Remember, it's nice to be important, but it's so much more important to be nice. You're nice, maybe the only nice that somebody see, girl. And I thank y'all for stopping by so we can read this confession letter. Your nice may be the nice that saves somebody's life. Y'all can send us these letters at sister-to-sister@gmail.com. Y'all send us these letters. She didn't send it there. She sent it to my inbox. Wherever you want to send it, as long as we get it. And if you don't want to send it to us, that is absolutely fine. Just write it out. I told you, writing is a way of release. If you write it out, you won't be so heavy. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go. That I saw I think she's a pastor, and she said that mental health, everybody's talking about mental health, because if we can change the way we think, then we could see some changes. Miss Janice, I will. That's why I've been inside, because this right here, I'm not going out like that. God is going to heal me of this. And she had a handful of M&Ms. And she said the M&Ms represented, she had them in her hand. I'm going to put them, she had them in her hand. And she said the M&Ms represent the way we were, this represent the way we were thinking. And with the M&Ms, she had a plethora of colors. You know, they come yellow, orange, blue, green, and red. So what she did was she had her hand like this, and she was talking about depression. And she's saying, and I'm not going to talk about depression, but I'm going to talk about how jumbled our mindset is, how much stuff we have that we've not dealt with that is causing us to be dysfunction in our adult life. So she had the M&Ms in her hand, and what she did is she's saying people want you to be okay. People telling you to be happy. People telling you to do this, this, and this. So I'm telling you, sisters, that when your mind is full of stuff and traumas and issues that you have not dealt with, then you get overwhelmed, and then you're not thinking straight, and then all type of things start to happen, such as depression, anxiety, and then your body break down. Your body do a whole lot of things because the mind is not clear. So with the M&Ms, she began to compartmentalize because we don't know how to do that. We jumble everything together. It's a chaotic place up here at some times. And then we get overwhelmed because we're not dealing with issues as they come. We sweep them under the rug. We're not dealing with stuff as it happened. We keep lying, saying we're okay. And we keep lying and saying it don't bother us. And it does bother us. And then the enemy and yourself is having a mind battle. And God is trying to get you free. And you still have this handful of emotions that you cannot do the proper function of making a fist. The proper function is for you to be healthy and living a life of not having mental breakdown, not having anxiety, depression, and all of these other things because you're dealing with things in their rightful place. So what she began to do is she began to take the red M&Ms, put them in a pile. She put the yellow M&Ms, put them in a pile. She put the green M&Ms, put them in a pile. She put the brown M&Ms, and she put them in a pile. So what she was saying is she was dealing with the issues as they were. There's no need to be dealing with a yellow and a blue issue when the blue issue is not part of my yellow issue. You see what I'm saying? So there's no need for you to be dealing with sexual abuse in your childhood that in your adult life is causing you to be promiscuous. And now you're angry. So now you need to find out why you're angry. So you putting your yellow anger on top of your dealing with your being sexually abused. Am I making sense? So you need to learn to I said all of that to say, in order to make the function of the fist, compartmentalize things. Deal with things one thing at a time in their rightful place. I can't deal with my sexual abuse and deal with my anger at the same time, because then I'm going to get overwhelmed. I need to find out why I'm angry. But first I got to deal with being healed from being sexually abused. So we have to deal with those things and put them in their proper place so we can be healthy and function the way God has intended us to function, and we won't be so overwhelmed. We will not be so. Well, Miss Janice, that's what we are here for. That's what we are here for. So, and now my fist can ball up, but I couldn't ball. The fist couldn't ball the proper function. If to hold something, if it's full of everything. Let me just hold my anger for right now. I'm going to hold my anger. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to see why I'm angry. I'm going to be real with myself and find out why I'm angry. And then I'm going to put that down once I deal with it. And then I'm going to pick up my yellow. You understand what yeah. Miss Janice got it if ain't nobody else got it. Marcus Harris, hey, my brother, thank you for joining the Sisters on Deck. So God don't want us to be overwhelmed. He said, renew your mind daily. So, but you can't do that if you won't deal with the stuff. And quit lying and saying that you okay. If somebody offends you, if you want to do it the Bible way, it said if you think. I ain't really got to be offended you. But if you think I did, you're supposed to come to me. And then that way it ain't gonna be something else that you holding in your hand that's keeping you from doing the proper function of balling up your fist. Deal with what you need to deal with. And once you do that, then you move to the next thing. So we won't be so overwhelmed and consumed, and it causes you all this anxiousness and depression and, jumping from hoop to hoop. He wants us to be whole. He wants us to be complete. And again, and it does tie into the letter, that her confession, because she didn't want to make her husband feel, less than a man. She didn't want to be that's supposed to be one. And so if she hurt him, she's really hurting herself. So I just wanted to share that with y'all because she had those M&Ms in her hand. And I thought that would be a way to express that when we're not dealing with stuff, we can't do the proper function. So you can't be the best version of yourself God created you to be if you don't deal with those things that is causing you to not function properly. And he is the ultimate one. So there's nothing wrong with therapy. Yes, you pray. Yes, you seek the Lord and you get instructions. But there's nothing wrong with speaking to someone to give you instructions on how to properly put those things and compartmentalize them in the proper function, in the proper way. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's time, because you've been in dysfunction for so long. You think it's regular. Ain't regular, girl. Not at all. Not by a little bit. So I love y'all. Be blessed. Tag somebody. Y'all share this. And those of you who's watching the replay, I appreciate you for stopping by the Sisters on Deck. We love you so much. Y'all pray my strength in the Lord. And I'm going to say our benediction one more time. It's nice to be important, but it's so much more important to be nice. Your nice may be the only nice that someone may see. Girl, your nice may be the nice just to save somebody's life, because it goes a long way. It goes a long way. A kind word turns away wrath. So y'all be nice. It costs you nothing. It's free. It's free. It won't take nothing from you. So do it, okay? So I love you. Miss Tamisha, I appreciate you so much for stopping by. I cooked that tonight. I appreciate it. Marcus, my brother, I thank you. Miss Janice, you're my girl. I love you so much. And thank you for stopping by. Miss Judy, hey, that's my girl. I thank you, Miss Judy, for stopping by. I respect the critique on tomorrow. Miss Judy, I'm telling you right now, you already know what's going on. So miss this part of the critique, okay? So Miss Sharon, I thank you for joining us tonight. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Annie, I love you. Danny, I thank you so much. And please, if I was out of place, I do apologize publicly. But I do thank you. One of the best drummers on this side of the land. Marcus, thank you for joining us. Marvin, hey. Thank you for coming through our cookout. I appreciate you so much. Kwana, you're my girl. La Casa, I thank you for stopping by. Dick and Josh, my first drummer right there. Dick and Josh, I love you. I'll see you Tuesday, be the Lord's willing. Angela, I thank you for always stopping by and rocking with us. I love you all so much. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Stay focused. Forgive quickly. Repent and seek God, because he has the answers to everything, okay? Good night.